Hello and welcome to QUTV News. I'm Lindsay Fisher. Q held Mental Health Awareness Day that gave students several events to de-stress halfway through the semester.
And I'm Freya Hansen. Athletes have a new companion to keep them company in the training room.
QU residents in Willard Hall have been woken up by a very annoying sound recently, and that's where we begin today. The sound of the fire alarm has become all too familiar for residents living in Willard Hall at Quincy University. Students say the constant fire alarms have become more of a running joke than a real warning. Since the start of the school year, Willard Hall has experienced many fire alarms, sometimes several in a single week, several in a single day, or even morning. The alarms are usually false, but every time they go off, residents must evacuate the building or they get a risk of getting fined. The Hall's resident director even made a deal with the students. If they can go 60 straight days without a single alarm, she will throw a pizza party. But months into the semester, that goal is still out of reach.
I think the fire alarms are pretty annoying, especially when they go off like without a cause. And then also just, at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, and it just disrupts my sleep, especially when I have a game the next day. I felt very tired. And I mean, it's good to have fire alarms, but it's also pretty annoying when it's like just a false fire alarm all the time. And it happened a lot of times lately, so yeah.
Staff and maintenance in Willard Hall are working to find out what is causing the repeated fire alarms. Many worry that people might stop talking about the fire alarms seriously, which could become very dangerous in a real emergency. The residents are keeping their sense of humor, hoping that one day they will get their pizza party. For now, students say that the alarms are just a part of their life at Willard Hall, but they still have hope to make it 60 days without an alarm so they can get that pizza alarm instead.
Quincy University has a lot of staff that you see every day. One person for certain got residential students into a building on campus. QUTV's Michael Lanier introduces us to Court Finley.
Whether you've been at Quincy University long or not, one familiar face on campus might be Housing Director Court Finley.
Quincy was the perfect fit. They also gave the most money in terms of financial aid, so it was kind of just a match made in heaven. And when I got here, just kind of vibed with all the boys that were here and just real nice community. So,
a graduate of 2014 decided to stay at Quincy University to find his career in the housing department.
Emails, and those go from anywhere from a housing or a room change to I hate my roommate to I hate it here, I want to go home to various other things.
Finley says his busiest days are usually on Mondays between emails and student walk-ins.
I don't not necessarily get pain or anything like that. I don't see it as that. It's just for one, coming off the weekend because the staff has not been here. So the biggest thing is, hey, how can we help you all get through this week? So that's the biggest thing and that's where the email just comes in. It's just getting caught up on that because it just never stops.
For more, be sure to check out QUmedia.net. Michael Lanier, QUTV News, Quincy.
Thank you, Michael.
When do you do your best studying? Quincy University provides the perfect spots for students to go and relax and spend time studying for a test. During the daytime, the library has desks and chairs throughout the upstairs and downstairs of the building to work, as well as a perfect view for you to look at when you need a break. But what about when the lights go off and the night owls need a place to study? The Student Success Center is at your service.
I usually tend to go to the SSC late at night because of my busy class and athletic schedule, and there's a lot of room down here and boards to work on. With the 24-hour access, it's just a great place to go and quiet study room.
If you like to wait until the sun has gone down to get your studying and homework done, the SSC is a great spot to check out. Life can get busy, but there is always time at one of your favorite study spots. You can locate the hours of the library and the Student Success Center outside of its doors.
After visiting the training room, some athletes have been surprised to find a missing member. The training room's mascot, Howie the fish, has recently passed on. After a brief mourning period, a new mascot was reinstated. A new white and purple beta. A naming competition was held where students suggested names that related to the training room. Then a tally vote was held to decide the best name.
Took my recommendation of the name, which was really sweet because his name is now Shark. Fish, shark, sort of cool, but they also have like a shark equipment in the trainers, so that's really nice. So I'm a little happier that they have a new fish to replace Howie, but I am sad that Howie didn't get a proper memorial.
Students have spoken and decided on the name Shark. So next time you're in the area, make sure to pay your respects and go say hi to Shark.
So Freya, have you had the chance to get to know Shark yet?
Luckily, I haven't actually. I'm pretty injury free right now, but yeah, hopefully I don't get to see him in a while.
Yeah, me too. Coming up, QU students had a chance to show off their creativity while taking a break from midterms. More on that after the break. It is starting to get into that fall cozy season. So what does that mean? Fall foods. Gardner Hall welcomed me in last week to try out some caramel apples. But what was so special about this event? Let's check it out.
Gardner Hall is ready for fall, and what better way to start off fall than some caramel apples? Hall residents lined up to make their own caramel apple masterpieces. Some toppings included M&Ms, chocolate chips, and my favorite, some Oreos. This event was put on to have the women interact and get to know people outside their hall floor. The RD and RAs of Gardner want women to engage and have a good time while doing something fun.
We do these events to help our freshmen get together and build a community, and it just really helps socialize everyone and, helps their mental health.
To note, this freshman class were in 7th grade when COVID hit, so some of these women struggled to socialize. So this was not just to have the women make caramel apple creations, but to also maybe create some relationships and memories. Some women bonded over the toppings they chose. Others decided to sit down and color as well to stick around a little bit longer to get to know each other.
All right, so after you guys seen them try it, I gotta give some a try. I put Nutella, I put some mini marshmallows, I put some M&Ms, some peanut M&Ms, and I chose Granny Smith, so I guess we'll give it a try. Pretty good.
Gardner Hall looks to have more events like this to have the women come out of their dorm and take a break. RAs and RD in Gardner really enjoy putting on events like these to make the women feel more comfortable and make their freshman year unforgettable.
Something that makes me go out of my way to go to these events is if I hear somebody on my floor go, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go, I'll be like, okay. And then I'll ask my roommate, and then we'll go mingle with other people. And depending on the type of event, it makes me want to do more. We did the pendant making thing, and so that was really fun. Now it's on our door, so.
Socializing within your hall is a great way to get to know others and make new friendships. If you want to interact with more of your hall residents, make sure to find an RD or RA and ask them to do more events like this.
I can tell you I met some new people making my caramel apple, but maybe next time I think I'm gonna stay for a little bit longer and color.
Mental Illness Awareness Week was the first week of October. To celebrate, the NAMI Club held a paint party in the Hawk's Nest. It was the final event in the Mental Health Day on campus, where students and teachers joined for a night of togetherness and imagination. With midterms happening the same week, students were eager for the relaxing night. There were endless colors and tools to choose from for a painting party. The highlight of the night was when everyone chipped in on one canvas and had 30 seconds to add to it. Artist Julie Watercutty was in attendance and helped bring creativity to the canvas. The party lasted for 2 hours, with some students even staying overtime to finish their paintings.
I think this event was good for de-stressing and just building community. I think that this week is really important in terms of mental health, especially athletes. They need an outlet. That's not their sport, so I think this was a good way to get everyone together.
The NAMI Club holds a number of events on campus in order to further the recognition and awareness of mental health importance. Look out for more events held by NAMI and contact them to get involved in the journey.
Dungeons & Dragons, Exploding Kittens, and Uno Flip. If you know those are names of card games and board games, there is a club at QU that may just pique your interest. Hawk Games is held in Brenner Library. The club runs from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays. Their goal is to have a club where you can have fun and relax while meeting new people. The club enjoys playing Magic, The Gathering, and D&D.
Because it allows for people who generally are the excluded people at QU to join together and form their own community. And we like to accept pretty much anyone because we like to see everyone's different opinions all together in one place.
The club enjoys doing events and activities throughout Quincy University. They have held trivia and more events for students within and outside of the club. For more on this club, check with Cassie Phillips or Lindsay Witt.
I wonder if the cold weather is going to stick around for real this time.
Yeah, I don't know. Luckily, Michael Lanier will have an answer to that question next.
It's really cold all of a sudden. I had to turn my heat on for the first time this semester yesterday.
Yeah, I had to wear sweatpants and my Nike sleeves to practice yesterday. So Michael, can you tell if this weather change is finally for real?
It's for real. It's for real, for real. I wore sweatpants and hoodies to practice as well yesterday, so let's take a look at the weather. It is hoodie season, ladies and gentlemen, which means you got to bring out your hoodies, of course. The temperature has dropped, and it is here to stay for a little while. Also, does the cold bother you? Because the cold never bothered me anyway. Let me tell you, it is going to be 62 today as a high and 41 as the low, which is around the average high for today of 64 with the average low of 43. The record coming in 2022 at 85, which is obviously not like that this week, but 2 weeks ago, we would have been at the record. And thank goodness we're not at the low because that is snow weather. And as some of you might have remembered a couple weeks ago, I like the snow, but not when it's cold. We'll move on to today's temperatures. Right now it's 57 outside with a southeast wind of 15 miles an hour. It is sunny, so it's keeping it a little bit warmer than what it'd be if it was cloudy. But then if we move into tonight, it's going to drop down to 40. The wind is going to drop as well to 5 miles an hour out of the northwest. But for those of you who like watching stars and maybe like bundling up in a blanket looking at the sky, tonight's for you. Looking into tomorrow, you're going to find clouds later on in the day towards the nighttime hours, but mostly throughout the day it's going to be clear with 57. The temperature is going to be 57 degrees with northwest winds at 8 miles an hour. And then the next couple days, it's going to be 60 degrees with sun tomorrow, or Friday if you're planning on going to a football game. I know spring football is at home, a high school football game. It's going to be 37, so it's going to drop towards the night, so you might want to bring a blanket or a hoodie. It's going to be 60 degrees on Saturday for the NCAA football game if you guys plan to head to that as well. So I'm going to step out of here to take a look at the 7-day forecast. As we look at the 7-day forecast, it's going to be 62 tomorrow as a high with a low of 37. And then you move into Friday with a high of 60, and that's going to continue into Saturday with the lows being 46 and 49 there. And then we're going to have a couple of storms roll in Sunday through Wednesday, but the high is looking to stay consistent, 61 Sunday, 61 on Monday. And then it drops a little bit to 58 and 55 Tuesday, Wednesday. So bring out your umbrellas. And that's what we have in store for your forecast.
I'm going to have to adjust to the new weather for our soccer matches. I was so used to the warm weather here.
Yeah, a lot of fall sports will finally get that fall weather. So stick around because coming up, we have our first look of the year at one QU athletics team. Carter, I would say that we were right with the predictions we made during QUTV game day about this football game.
Yeah, a ton of people were made at us about our picks, but I have a feeling we might make the right decision.
Yeah, you guys definitely made the right decision on that one. I know a lot of people on the football team were not too happy with that, but as well, we will talk about some different sports first, so let's start it off with swimming. The Swimming Hawks traveled to Davenport, Iowa last Friday and took on the NAIA opponent of St. Ambrose University Bees. Let's hear what some of the swimmers had to say about the meet. QUTV's Grant Owen was there.
I mean, it's really nice because it gives us more motivation to race and swim faster, which, I mean, like, a lot of us have already gotten, like, really good times, and, yeah, it's just really good.
It feels great. It's fun to, like, get away from our pool and, like, swim somewhere new and figure out how to get acclimated to the different pools.
Feels great. This is my first away meet. As you know, we're from Quincy, so it's about a 2.5 hour drive. It's great. 8 lanes, full-size pool, swimming fast. I mean, it's going great right now. Got some good swims, and ready to do some more.
It feels very good. As you can see, the pool is very fast. Everyone's doing PBs. QU on top. We just wrapped up the meet here in Davenport, Iowa. The men's team won 139-75, and the women's team lost by 2 points because St. Ambrose had divers with a score of 111 to 109. The Hawks have a meet next weekend in Grinnell, Iowa. Grant Owen, QTV News, Davenport.
At Jack McKenzie Field, Quincy University's women's soccer team lost to Drury 1-0 on Friday night, ending their 7-game winning streak. For the Panthers, Holland Hawkins gave Drury the game's lone goal in the 4th minute, and Quincy was unable to come up with a response. Although they were limited to 2 shots, the Hawks tied Drury in shots total at 6, and even took a lead in corner kicks. As well, Jesse Newton and Ella Wolford tried to push the attack, but were unsuccessful, and rookie goalie Devin Tracy made 3 saves. 3 yellow cards and 21 fouls and warnings to Newton and Wolford were all part of a physical altercation at the game. The Hawks, who are currently 8-2-2 overall and 7-1-1 in GLVC play, must quickly reassemble for their Sunday matchup against Missouri S&T, which they took on them at noon at Legend Stadium, a part of the Green Out for mental health awareness. Quincy Hawks women's soccer dominated Sunday at Jack McKenzie Field as they shut out Missouri S&T Miners 2-0. The Hawks scored before halftime with Deshae Johnson found the net, and freshman Abby Martin delivered the assist. This marked Martin's first career assist as a Hawk. In the 80th minute, Ella Wolford scored again. This was her 6th goal of the season. Rebecca Reinheimer and Claudia Andrews set her up. The defense was strong. Missouri S&T took 10 shots and they did not score. Freshman keeper Devin Tracy made 3 saves. Quincy's record moves up to 9-2-2 overall, and they are 8-1-1 in GLVC play. The Hawks shift their focus to next game as they travel to play Lincoln in Jefferson City. The men's soccer Hawks returned to their winning ways as Quincy defeated Drury 2-0 on Friday night at Jack McKenzie Field, increasing their record to 7-3-2 overall and 5-3-1 in GLVC play. Luca Barbero helped Matthias Bridgdahl score the first goal in the 25th minute, leading the Quincy Hawks lead. Carlos Moreno-Haynal calmly converted a penalty kick in the 60th minute just after halftime to give the Hawks a 2-goal lead. Quincy dominated offensively with 12 shots on goal and 23 shots to Drury 17. With 10 saves, Drury's keeper was occupied, but don't worry, Jake Offerman, a junior goalie, was also excellent in recording 6 saves in his 5th shutout of the season. The Quincy Hawks and Missouri S&T will face off in a GLVC matchup that took place on Sunday in a gritty afternoon at Jack McKenzie Field. Both teams engaged in tackles and challenges right from the start, where the referee gave out 6 yellow cards, 3 to each team. Jake Offerman, Quincy's junior goalie, put a fantastic display in goal, tying his career-high 8 saves and surpassing the 50-save mark for the season. But the Hawks were unable to break through. They had 1 shot on goal, while Missouri S&T had 18, 9 of which were on target. In the 73rd minute, a handball in the box gave Missouri S&T a penalty kick, which they converted to take a 1-0 lead, which will last until the final whistle. The Hawks, who are currently 7-4-2 overall and 5-4-1 in conference, will travel to Jefferson City this Friday to take on Lincoln University at 7:30 to try to recover a win from the Blue Tigers. The Quincy University NCAA football team traveled to Kirksville to play the Truman State Bulldogs on a cool fall afternoon, but things didn't go well. Setting the tone early, the Bulldogs ran out the gate with a 52-yard touchdown run on their first possession. The Hawks were still having trouble finding rhythm on the scoreboard as it read 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. Braden Little, a rookie quarterback, had a standout performance, throwing for a season-high 311 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the ground game never took off as the Hawks rushed for -11 rushing yards. Truman dominated the line of scrimmage, piling 282 yards on the ground, while the Hawks were had -11 rushing yards coming from Braden Little's sacks. Throughout a fight in the third quarter was a cut deficit of a 6-yard touchdown to Jackson Burnett, a freshman wide receiver, and they then scored again from Elijah Ginenbacher. Truman always had an answer to Quincy's advances, though, as the Bulldogs would have a 62-yard run in the final quarter to put the lead out of reach. Truman dominated the fourth quarter, sealing the victory with 2 field goals and a steady ground game with their drives. Truman State won 44-21 in the end. The Hawks are now 4-3 overall, 2-2 in GLVC play, and they will take on Missouri S&T Miners at QU Stadium on Saturday at 1 p.m. in a crucial home game. These last 4 games are crucial for the Hawks due to the fact that if they just win 3 of the 4, they will have the first 7-win season since 1994 and the first in the D2 era. The Hawks and the Midway Eagles engaged in a thrilling sprint football game on Saturday night at QU Stadium. Less than 2 minutes in, freshman Harold Williams took it in from 23 yards into the end zone, and senior Donnell Packer made a spectacular play by blocking an extra point and taking it 97 yards for 2. The Hawks led 15-6 at the half, and after that, quarterback Deuce Alloway hit Gregory Quince for a 26-yard touchdown later in the first. However, Midway responded forcefully, taking control with 26 points in a row before halftime. With 3 or more touchdowns in the third quarter, the Eagles maintained their lead going into the fourth quarter, 53-15. Quincy persisted late in the game. Sophomore quarterback Ethan Harrison found Trayvon Helger right for a 1-yard touchdown, but it was insufficient as Midway won 59-22. The Hawks offense totaled 281 yards. 162 came from the ground, but 4 costly turnovers cost them the game. Now that senior day has arrived, Quincy will host St. Mary of the Woods at QU Stadium on Friday at 6 o'clock. Wichita, Kansas, remember the name because the Bowling Hawks made history. The Hawks won the coveted Mid-States Championship on Saturday, overcoming a 12th place start to win their first ever tournament. Again, first ever tournament. They defeated reigning champions, the Newman University Jets. The Jets, 3-1, swept Oklahoma Christian Eagles and upset top-seeded Wichita State Shockers after securing the final bracket spot by just 3 pins. The Hawks demonstrated their strength on stage by averaging more than 200 pins in 16 backer games, including a massive 258 in their final match. Hawks, keep up the good work. You bowl with pride tonight, and that's what we have in store for sports this week. But don't go anywhere. Oh, no. Sports isn't over yet. You can't get rid of me that easy. Don't you know we have some coaching royalty on staff coming into the studio today. He is a 2-time All-Conference defensive lineman and All-American. People just know him as the name of Big Coach. But today, he's going to be speaking with us about his father, the biggest coach. Stay tuned for a QUTV special report after the break. Welcome back to QUTV Sports. I'm Carter Lenzen. Today in studio, we have one of the best players on the East Coast who is now a Quincy University defensive line coach. In his collegiate career, he was a 2022 All-PSAC first team defensive lineman, 2021 All-PSAC first team defensive lineman, Don Hanson Football Gazette All-American honoree mention, played in 37 games on the defensive line with 31 starts, totaling 170 tackles, including 72 solo tackles. He earned a great path of his play from his father, Reginald White, who played 4 seasons in the National Football League with the San Diego Chargers and New England Patriots. And now he is inducted in the Coaches Hall of Fame and is about to retire. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Coach Nick White. Coach, what does it mean to attend the same school and play on the same field as your father?
Funny story, Carter. I actually did not want to play for my dad. I got into a private school, Calvert Hall, where they did a lot of great things at that school. It was known as a big school in Maryland. I wanted to go there, but my dad had other plans, which I appreciate. It turned out well for me, but just looking at him and my brother, I was like, I don't know if I want to play for my dad, but it turned out to be a great experience. I mean, it meant the world. So many times we just got to sit back in his coach's office and eat lunch together. I got to spend countless time with him, and I actually just appreciate him doing that, leading me into that direction to play for him. I learned a lot, just everything based off like what I played, especially playing the same position that he played, and he's coaching me, teaching me things that I carry on and teach the D-line here at Quincy. So main thing is, it's just mental toughness he taught me, ability things, I mean, playing with your hands, like I told my defensive line, and just being dominant, you know. And main thing is, he always just told me to have fun and enjoy every moment of football, because you never know when your last play will be. So.
Yeah. And then explain if you felt pressure or pride, or maybe both, being Coach White's son.
I would say I felt both. Pressure and being just, you never really want to be the coach's kid. If you mess up, everybody's going to look at you twice as hard, like, oh, he's only playing because his dad's the coach. But I'm sure all my teammates and everybody I play with on the coaching staff and people at Milford Mill Academy, they can say, like, Nick White bust his butt and he did everything he was supposed to do to earn his right to play. And pride-wise, yeah, I take pride in it. I kind of consider it like a family high school at this point. My dad went there, my brother, my uncle, and I. So I take pride in that White name, being a part of Milford Mill Academy football. And just everything we do, I mean, my brother accomplished a lot in his career, playing in the NFL and CFL. And then me just taking all the stuff they taught me growing up and using it, coaching and as well as in my playing career. So I didn't make it all the way to the NFL like I dreamed, but I get to try to coach guys and get them to that point. So I'm happy with that. So
it's great to hear. I mean, yeah. Milford Mill Academy, that team went to the state championship a couple times, and in your state championship loss, you were crying on the sideline.
Yes,
and your
sir.
Teammates were on the other side crying. What did that moment teach you about your dad, both as a coach and as a father at the same time?
I just know it was tough for him. Devastating loss. We're up 3 scores or 2 scores going into halftime, ended up not pulling it out. So it was tough. I lost my cool. I'm sure you know me as a coach. I tend to not lose my cool as much. I was pretty much the same as a player, but just a tough loss like that. Through my helmet, he caught me on the sideline crying. He was in between trying to get the guys together and trying to be there for me. But tough loss. My last high school game at Milford. I mean, I know it was tough for him, and just losing period is tough, but that was the 30th year from when he won the state championship at Milford, because he won in 1987 and we were playing in 2017. So it was a lot of stuff behind it. I mean, we were in position to win the game, which makes it even more tougher. Like, you'll want to get blown out instead of losing close games like that. So main thing is I know it was tough, and I appreciate him for trying to do both, be my dad and be the coach of all the 60 guys we had on the team. So basically, just what that taught me is, you got to care for all your guys. I mean, you got to care for them, treat all your guys like, honestly, they're your kids. So, and that's what he did. And for all the kids at Milford that he coached and the guys that played under him, I know some of them really looked at him like a father figure, which he was. So I appreciate my dad a ton for that stuff. So.
That's great. And then what values did your dad instill on you, both on and off the field of play?
Countless values. I mean, on time, being disciplined, always giving everything your best shot. Like, my dad he was a character. I'm sure everybody will say that. Like, I love him, and he had his non-negotiables. You know what I mean? Like C's on the report card or C's on the interim report. Like, you can't have that, you know what I mean? So as a kid, basically he just ingrained to me not to be complacent with anything, you know what I mean? So growing up, I always had to strive to be better than the next man, you know, competing. And I had my brother beside me, so it was always a humbling experience being beside him, but you always knew, like, it's more you can achieve. So he always kept me going. He always really pushed me to put my best foot forward. I mean, growing up in high school, I wasn't the biggest or strongest or fastest. I really was just a guy that loved football and loved playing the game. So just always believing in me. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest guy, but he always had faith in me to become what I actually became. So he saw the bigger picture in me before I did, honestly. So
That's great. And
yeah.
then you're a coach now yourself, starting at University of Central Oklahoma as a GA, and now a defensive line coach at Quincy University. What lessons did you take from your dad into your coaching career?
Main thing, defensive lineman, just hands lead, feet follow, eyes stay square, thumbs up, elbows in. I remember that so well because he's been teaching me that since the age of about 5 years old. So main thing is just those little things that you don't really think that you know going into it. I mean, because coaching, my first year, I was coming off of a college football season, getting ready for my pro day. And I got the call from Coach Swanson, who was now the DC at UCO, to come be his assistant defensive line coach. So I wasn't really big into the coaching world before that. I got my master's degree, and then 2 weeks later, I'm on the way to Oklahoma to coach. So, I mean, you don't think you know much, and then you realize you get into that position. It's like pretty much all I knew growing up. Like, football was basically what he's been instilling in me since I was a kid. So just little things like that he always taught me, and I just take it now and try to teach these young guys here at Quincy.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you hope people remember most about your dad, not just as a coach, but as an overall man?
Wow. Great question. I mean, so many things, you know. Just how much he cared. And Milford isn't like the biggest school in Maryland, and just being an NFL guy, like how much it is to go to the NFL, come back to your hometown, your home school, and coach. So I think just him being such a member of his community, because he does a lot of things outside of his community and in the community as well that a lot of people don't really see, but I see it every day because it's my pops, you know. So just always trying to go the extra mile to help somebody out. I mean, he's been in conversations to trying to take kids in at Milford Mill Academy to make sure they have home and a place to sleep and eat. So just things like that. My dad is a great guy. I love him to death, man. He put me and my brother in great positions to succeed in football and outside of football, and just the things he instills in so many young men over at Milford Mill in Baltimore County. So it's a lot. Everything he does, man, I just hope it doesn't go unnoticed, you know what I mean? So I hope he does finish and get a ring this season. I know he'll probably consider retirement soon, but whatever he does, man, I just hope everybody sees what I see in him. So,
Coach, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to shout out my mom. Mom Duke's the rock of the family. It was just me, my dad. Me, my dad, my brother, and my mom. So a lot of stuff she does goes unnoticed as well, being in a household with all men. So she's the rock of the family, and everything she does is like, you know how it is. Mom, she takes care of everybody, just makes everything right, you know what I mean? So I appreciate her as much as my dad. Just having both parents in my household is not really a common thing in Baltimore, where I'm from. So just to have that is awesome for me. They led me to be a great man, a great coach, great player. So they instilled in me so many things, and I just want to say I appreciate both of them greatly. So.
Well, Coach White, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure having you here.
It's been a pleasure, Carter.
It's been a pleasure talking about your dad, Reggie, and he sounds like a great human. I wish I could have met him.
Yes, sir.
I wish I could meet him. Well, this has been a QUTV special report. I'm Carter Linson. Let's go back to the desk with Freya and Lindsay.
Thanks for the sports update, Carter. I heard there were some other goats on campus last week as well.
Yeah, hope they're well behaved around all the students. We'll have more about that coming up. QU brought back one of its cuter events from last spring. Students got to participate in goat yoga during Mental Health Awareness Day. QUTV's Lucas Laudentine gives us a closer look.
QU had their Mental Health Awareness Day on October 13th. The day consisted of several events. One of these events was a returner from last spring. Goat Yoga was back for a second year, and it was successful again this year on Mental Health Awareness Day here at Quincy University. Goat Yoga is exactly what it sounds like. Students were given a chance to unwind with some yoga while being surrounded with some cute companions. Alyssa Warren was one of the people who took the time to try it out.
My teammates went last year and I decided to go this year. I had a lot of fun. They were all over us, but it was nice to get like a nice stretch in, and also with the goats there.
Warren also said that having the goats around could be stressful at times, but that was just mainly due to the risk that a goat would have to use the bathroom. The timing of Mental Health Awareness Day was important because it took place just after most students would have been done taking midterms.
And it's good to just be like, oh yeah, I have something to go to, I'll do that, and then I'll go back to studying instead of just like getting zoned out and like having a break that is too long.
Lucas Laudentine, QUTV News, Quincy.
So would you guys try something like that? Because I did last year, and they went to the bathroom, not on me, but very close to me.
I don't know if I would try it. I'd be afraid being in a downward dog position that a goat would just run through my legs or something. I'd rather do basset hounds instead, of course.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll try it next semester. You never know how it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe dolphin yoga, swimming in the water, swim with some dolphins. I would do that. Thanks for joining us this week on QUTV News. You can find more stories on QUmedia.net and on Facebook and Instagram. Have a great day.